George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. We continue with our celebration of Kwanzaa with day 6, which is, no, not day 4, day 4, which is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our stores and shops and other businesses and to profit from them together. And joining us now is Michelle Brooks Rowling. She is, of course, the Executive Director, President, CEO of the Upstate Minority Economic Alliance. And certainly this is a topic that's interesting to you. Michelle, Ujamaa, what does it mean to you? How do you plan to, how have you used that in your life in 2020, and how you plan to live that in 2021?
Well, first of all, George, thank you yet again for having me on your show as a special guest. It's always a pleasure. So as we know, Ujamaa means to build and maintain one's own stores, shops, and other businesses to profit from the community together. And what is not lost on me, George, is the word together. So what Ujamaa means to me personally is the idea of supporting other Black and Brown businesses, quite simply. So I know that even now in my home, we are relying on Black and Brown businesses to help us on the personal front. We have hired a minority caterer to put us on a meal plan and fix us healthy meals, since we seem to always be on Zoom constantly, such as now. When I finish this, I'll go home to a healthy meal that's already
ready, right?
Pre-made, exactly. And on the minority chamber front, we have engaged the services of a professional administrative company, Admin on Call, to just help tame my schedule given the volume that I manage. And so, that's what it's really all about, simply supporting each other in the exchange of goods and services.
And Michelle, for 2021, how do you see this playing out for you personally, once again, in terms of this particular principle of cooperative economics, Ujamaa?
Right. Well, not only do I intend to continue in this trajectory, but actually, expound upon it in the coming year. In the macro scheme of things, George, I often think about the time in our history where African Americans were relegated to blue collar or teaching, social service, or servitude type professions. And unless they were doing, one of those things, they had no choice but to own, businesses. So, businesses is part of our African American culture and history. Furthermore, when I think of things like the Montgomery boycott, I feel like those occurrences in history are just as much about economic empowerment as they are about social justice, because again, here's that word together. The community came together and said, no longer will we, sit in the back of the bus or be treated as second-class citizens. And even if we have to have, sores at the sole of our feet from walking, we're going to band together and withhold our economic dollar from the very system that is oppressing us. And eventually, as you know, the city of Montgomery relented because of that aggregate economic impact. So it was the majority of the people working together to achieve not only social justice, but a form of economic empowerment. So likewise, here in our local community, we know that Black and Brown people contribute billions to our local, regional, and of course, national economies. And that dollar is magnified in the community because we also know that Black and Brown businesses are very highly likely to go out and hire other people of color, right, thereby contributing to the regional economic base. Mm-hmm. So we want to create a culture of normalization. And what I mean by that is just as African Americans, go out and we think nothing of it to purchase the goods and services of non-minority businesses.
Right.
However, we don't always see that in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to, at least make it a goal where it is just normal, where non-minority businesses think nothing of purchasing goods and services from Black and brown entrepreneurs and business owners.
Yeah, and I think to put a bow on that, each of us individually can also make that impact. I was with a friend not too long ago, and he was like, "Yo, I'm going to take you around," and he was a Greek heritage, and he was going to take me to other Greek owned businesses, and without exception, without mincing words, he was just going to do that. And so it certainly makes sense for us to think about that. I guess the challenge we should put forth, if you agree with me, Michelle, is that we, during 2021, let us all be intentional about our purchases and making sure that and you're an entrepreneur as well. I know you're always wearing different hats, but you are an entrepreneur. Certainly, as an entrepreneur yourself, you know what you have to do to maintain and succeed. But also, people can use your services, or we should be intentional about finding entrepreneurs to support. And I think in an organized way, I've been calling for this, and I'm going to call for it right now on this show. Cash mobs. I don't care how, organize a group of people, all of us get together, we go somewhere, and we spend some money, and that's going to help. Just something simple like that. What do you think, Michelle?
Right. Well, you've hit on it, George. The key word, the operative word there is intentionality. Being intentional, heightening our social consciousness surrounding this issue. And speaking of Black and brown businesses, we have a number of minority businesses listed on the Upstate Minority Economic Alliance's website that you can, purchase goods and services from. And beyond those listed on UMEA's website, they're definitely out there in the entrepreneurial fabric of, places, social, such as, Facebook. I try not to leak it. I'm a doer, as you know, so I'd rather do first and tell later. But I don't mind leaking a little bit that one of UMEA's 2021 strategic goals is to flat out create that long overdue minority business directory.
And you would have no idea how long overdue that is. So that's going to be a good thing, Michelle. We look forward to seeing that. And we really appreciate you joining us to help us to celebrate the fourth principle of Kwanzaa, which is Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle is the CEO, president, executive director, the chief kahuna of the Upstate Minority Economic Alliance, UMEA.org. UMEA.org.
.com.
.com. That's right. Forget it. They're not a
Upstate,
nonprofit.
So my apologies. Correction is Upstate MEA, Upstate MEA.com.
UpstateMEA.com. UpstateMEA.com. Michelle, thank you. Inspiration for the nation.